everyone, welcome to After Class with Ballet for All,
a podcast by two passionate adult ballerinas about all things adult ballet related.
and some random thoughts in between.
We're so glad you're here.
So grab your water bottle
Or a cup of coffee.
and join us for a quick chat after class.
Hi, Yelena. Oh my gosh, class was so good today.
Are you tired? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling a little tired, definitely. My legs are like little jello-y after the weekend off.
Yeah, I can imagine. An hour of bar class and then 45 minutes of point class is a lot to ask to the body at this point on age.
Yes, it's a lot. And one of the things, though, that really helped me today we were talking about was the proprioception concept. Can you explain that a little bit? Because I felt like that was super helpful, and I'm sure other people would find it helpful too.
Yeah, so sometimes we ask, how do I know the leg is by my side? Well, that's how you know the leg is by your side. You need to physically feel where your body is within the space. If your arm is by your side without looking at it, knowing that you have your body over the toes, over the both legs, not just one. Or when you open by your side on échappé to second position, it's not just opening, but how much can you actually open? How much bigger, how small is that second position? That's all that awareness of that proprioception, knowing where your body is. And it actually happened when you did that bad mountain dew to the side, that we would did the tam liaison point. So you did plie, tendu to the side, your leg was a little bit left behind. Therefore, when you close to fifth position in front of you, that leg wasn't turned out. It was harder for you to bring it to fifth position. And that's why it's so important from day one to feel your body, feel every muscle, feel every movement.
Yeah, I feel like that's why it's so important to have classes, at least sometimes, that the choreography is a little bit simpler and a little slower so that you really can focus on feeling the body. I think so often as we are progressing as dancers, we feel like we need to be taking classes that are faster, more challenging choreography. But I think while yes, that's good, it's also good to take slower pace, simpler exercises so that you can really focus on that concept, proprioception. Probably saying it wrong, but we'll put a link to an article in the episode description.
We might need to do that so everyone can read and understand what are we talking about. Like, is that a new concept? Did she just made it up because she's Cuban and she thinks she'll teach different? I don't know. Yeah, but definitely good to have that step back to basics, back to the foundation, and slowing down sometimes can take you farther than just going really fast in classes at them sometimes.
Yeah, class was super good today, which I feel like it's kind of a good lead-in since it's our first episode. Maybe we should explain how we even decided to start this podcast, because Yelena is my teacher. I'm her student, and we would take our online Zoom classes. Then we would always end up staying on Zoom for like 30 minutes to an hour after class, just talking about all things ballet related.
Talking non-stop.
Let's start a podcast.
So many people must be in the same position that you are. Like, you're an adult. We are doing a lot of classes at the moment in persons or online. And you sometimes might feel that you're the only one out there. And you have so many valid questions, Anna. Like, every time we finish class, exactly, people, we will be talking for 35 or 40 minutes about anything. It would be clothes, it would be point shoes, it would be, I don't know, talking about the online lessons that you took with Catherine Morgan's YouTube classes or trying brochette classes. And it's not just comparing, but sharing what you took out of each class. So that's really good to have that conversation. I think a lot of people will really relate to it and enjoy it.
Yeah, I hope that's what this can be for people, is that it's like a space for other adult dancers to feel like they have community and can be part of the conversation, which is fun. I'm excited. Yeah.
We take us to the questions, who are we? So we really have to introduce a little bit to give that background, right?
Yeah, I think we should start with you. Yeah, let's start with you, the teacher. And I would love to ask you some questions. Some of them I know the answer to, some of them I don't. So I'm excited. And then for other people who follow you on YouTube or Instagram, it would be fun for them to get to know you a little bit better too. So let's just jump right in.
Yay.
All right.
Yay.
So tell us a little bit about yourself your name, how old you are, where you're from originally, some biography.
Yeah, so my name is Yelena. I'm 32. Oh, time passed so fast. Um, I'm from Cuba. However, a lot of you will think that I'm still living in China because I lived the last 10 years in China. Now I'm living in Australia with my husband and my puppy. I got a new puppy, very excited, which you will see sometimes on my YouTube videos. Super cute. And yeah, so that's me. Very exciting now that I'm finally in Australia where I call home and start doing more of ballet around here now.
That's awesome. So going kind of to the beginning of your dance journey, how did you first start dancing ballet?
So I remember I was watching someone was dancing on the TV. I was 6 or 7 years old, and I remember telling my grandma, I want to dance like that person. And my grandma, she was like, no way. She is almost naked. And it was a ballerina with thighs, a tutu, point shoes. It was like very classic ballet. And my grandma was amazed. She was like, you're not doing that. You're my granddaughter, and you're not going to be naked on the stage dancing in front of everyone. And I got that like as a challenge. And I'm like, okay, challenge accepted. I'm doing the ballet test. I'm doing the whole audition for the ballet school. So that was, I started the ballet training in Cuba at the age of 7. I did a vocational training, which I do ballet classes from Monday to Friday, sometimes Monday to Saturday, from the age of 8 up to the age of 18. Then it's like doing everything between dancing, language, math, physics, chemic, and all that, chemistry, all that together until I was 18.
Wow. Yeah, that's so incredible. Like that was your life from such a young age. So after you did the kind of audition process, where were you training? Were you training in the city that you lived? Did you have to move to go somewhere else?
So I did that audition. It was for the vocational school in my city. Almost every city of the country has a vocational school. What we call vocational is we go there to train specifically for ballet. So that's the core focus of the whole year, we will say. And then we have the supplementary training around it, like all the things for dancing or for what I said, school. And that was for 5 years. So from the age of 8 up to 15. But every year we will have a final exam, which we have to like train hard, and it wasn't a given. You will be tested every year up to the age of 15. That was in my city. And so I wasn't in boarding school at that time, but from the 15 up to 18 or 19 years old is when we do the auditions to the National Ballet School. Again, another 1 or 2 weeks of intensive and extensive testing where we have repertoire classes, group classes, then individual, and then solo dancing as well. And that's all like, again, every school from the country will reunite in Havana, and we will all audition for maybe 10 positions or 15 positions. So yeah, and then we studied there again from the age of 15 to 18, and that because it's not in my city, it's in the capital. Yes, I was in a boarding school, but it was really full on, but interesting.
Yeah, so what was that like once you were in the Cuban National Ballet School? Obviously, that's a world-renowned facility to train. Cuba, one of the things I love about Cuba, because I have had the pleasure of getting to go, is that it is a country that loves ballet so much. And ballet is such a big deal there. And so getting into that school is very prestigious and, again, world-renowned. So what was it like being at the school?
It was pretty awesome. Like we got to see Fernando Alonso's, which was alive at the time, and it's like he created and founded the ballet school, and he was such a lovely maestro, what we call like teachers, right? We got to share classes with him. We got to share classes with any other renowned dancer that will come to the country. Will always go to our school, and we will get to see them or have a class with them, or even see them rehearsing. We couldn't join them or be in the studio, but just through the glass door we were looking at them. It was pretty impressive. It was quite interesting. Like we're quite young.
Yeah, I feel like we need to just do an entire episode about your experience at the Cuban National Ballet School, because I know even in taking class with you, there's been times where like stories have come up or just different things that happened. And it's such a interesting world that not a lot of people get a window into, because if I'm not mistaken, right, the Cuban National Ballet School, you have to be Cuban. It's not like some other companies, like I know for the Royal Academy of Dance or the Royal Ballet School, you can audition, right, even if you're from another country. But for the Cuban Ballet School, you actually have to be Cuban. And so I think it's a much more, I don't know, kind of mysterious world to people, because outsiders don't really come in.
So they actually did open a few years ago to foreigners, but it's not like 10, 11, or 12. It would be maybe 1 or 2 foreigners will join. So you have to be in the right age, and not everyone gets the opportunity. I don't know what are the requirements. I know that I have seen few foreigners now training, but very few, maybe 1 or 2 since I left the school like 10 years ago.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. We definitely will do an episode on that in the future, because I feel like it's just such an interesting experience that you had that not a lot of people get to have. So after you graduated from the school, what happened next in life?
So I went back to my city. They needed ballet teachers, and obviously I was very proud of coming from the National Ballet School to teach the school who created me. So I went back there and worked for 2 years. I had the chance to work as well as a dancer in the lyrical company of the city, which was like a lot of singers and all that. And I was doing a little bit of dancing with them. So I was pretty happy with be teaching. And at the same time, I still was like kind of dancing again. So that was good.
That's so fun. And then after that, you had a pretty big move, right? After you kind of finished up that season.
Yeah, so after that, one of my best friends from the National Ballet School called me one day and she said, I got an opportunity to dance in China, and would you like to join me? I'm like, China? Like, bear here with me. I'm in Cuba, no internet. This is like 10 years ago. And Cuba, all the way to China. I was like, but what are we going to do there? And she's like, nothing. Let's just go. Let's dance and let's see. And it's Cuba. Not many opportunities to leave the country. So I was like, okay, I'm taking this opportunity. Let's go. And that's how I ended up living in China for 10 years.
Wow. So you went there specifically to dance?
Yeah. So I went to dance in a show in a big theater. We danced for 2 years. And it was doing a little bit of Broadway, a little bit of classical ballet. It was really interesting. It was my first time doing something that it wasn't purely ballet. It was pretty interesting until they asked me to put a cabaret kind of bikini, let's call it, with all this feather and all this stuff. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm a professional ballet dancer. I don't dance cabaret. Do not put me in heels and don't put me with feathers and bikini. I can't do that.
That's so funny.
And everyone was just laughing because it was just 2 classical ballet dancers. And there was like 40 Cuban dancers. Everyone was just cabaret and jazz. I'm like, no, no way. I remember they asked us to try the costume to see how they look like. And I came back with the cabaret, the bikini thing on with my entire leotard underneath. And it was like, you can see you are a classical ballet dancer. Everyone's just like the belly out and the feathers and that bikini and the top. And I'm like, my leotard. And on top of the leotard, I put that thing on.
You're like, nope, it's a no for me.
No, this is not for me.
So funny. Oh, so funny. Oh my gosh. So did you meet your husband in China?
Yeah, we met in China over like 7 years ago. It was I really needed it. It's China. When you're young, it's okay, but then you're so far away from home, and I needed that person to like go back home at the end of the day and just like talk about how was your day and a little bit of support. And China is such a different culture that when I met him, I was like, oh, now I can do this for a little bit longer.
Yeah. And then in the midst of living in China, I know when I started taking class with you about 1.5 years ago, you were in the process of getting your bachelor's degree with the Royal Academy of Dance, right? So you would tell us a little bit about that process?
Yeah, so once my husband and I we met and we were dating for a little bit longer, we knew it was gonna be serious, and I wasn't sure how renowned the Cuban Ballet School will be over here in Australia. Rather than just waiting and see it was gonna be recognized or not, I decided to do first a diploma with the Royal Academy of Dance, and it was like 2 years online. I used that time not only to stay busy, but also to improve a little bit my English and keep like up to date with what was happening in the world of ballet. But this diploma got me like really interested on knowing more about dance in general, not just ballet. And I did then apply to the bachelor degrees in dance education, so it was more general, not just ballet. And yeah, I just graduated in June, so pretty excited. My first like bachelor degree ever, and in a second language, which is pretty hard. I cried so much, so much every time I had to write an essay.
It's honestly really incredible, though, that you have done that in your second language. And then the amount of experience that you bring from the ballet world, having both the Cuban and now the Royal Academy of Dance, it's like so much knowledge, so much expertise, which is one of the reasons it's so fun to take class with you, is because you have so much expertise just in both methodologies. So it's really fun. So when in the midst of this, because if people who are listening don't know, you also have your platform Ballet for All on YouTube, which is actually how I found you and how I started taking live classes with you and how we met. So you have an awesome YouTube channel. When did that all start? How did that start?
Yeah, so I was finishing the diploma with the Royal Academy of Dance, and there was this assignment, or there was this subject that I had to do at the end. The final assignment, it was to give a like hypothetical business kind of ballet business, but it more related to community. And I just thought of creating something it wasn't a beginning just for adults. So I wanted to do something related to anyone who was in Australia that was in the public school and didn't have all the opportunity or the time or the finances to do ballet. And I created kind of an idea of teaching ballet to those who didn't have access to it. And when I presented it, it was a whole business and a whole that. And I was thinking on the name. I was like, I want to give ballet to all. So that's how I call it Ballet to All from the beginning. But then a friend of mine, which her first language was English, is like, it actually will sound a little bit better if you call it Ballet for All. And I'm like, are you sure?
Went through a rebrand. Sounds Ballet for All. That's so fun. So what is your favorite part about the channel and about that platform?
Every time I post a video, I have 18,000 followers, and it's kind of me dancing in front of 18,000 people. So every time I post a video, I'm always thinking on everyone who follows me is actually going to see it. So I get all nervous. I'm like, it's 18,000 people seeing you dancing, like, or teaching. And I'm like, oh, that's so exciting.
Oh, well, yeah. And I like the YouTube channel has viewers from all over the world, but even in, I know, your live classes, where are some of the places that your students are? Because I know you have quite an international following of students on your live Zoom classes as well.
So I have students, all of you are in the US, like everywhere in the country. I have students from Austria, from France, in London, someone in Mexico. So a little bit all over, and Peru I remember as well. So it's...
Yeah, I feel like I love the name Ballet for All, because I do feel like that's really what our community represents and looks like, you know, even in our group classes. We're very diverse in age and experience and just what we do for a living. Like, there's just such a diversity within the classes, and it's really special, I think. And I love that Ballet for All really is very descriptive of what our community looks like, which is so fun. So shifting gears a little bit, what are some things outside of ballet that you enjoy doing?
Yeah, so I didn't enjoy doing at the beginning. Now I'm enjoying a little bit more, but it's rock climbing. So I think that ballet teaching. At the moment for me, teaching ballet is at home, alone, and most of the time I'm in like this little studio, like dancing room. And I think, I don't know, for some reason, I went like, my hobby is gonna be outdoors, climbing high walls, as scary as possible, no safe, no down to ground like what we are in the ballet classes, right? I don't know why, but that's where you will find me, in a cliff, climbing as high as we can, most of the weekends.
For it, it's fun. I've seen some photos and videos of you like way up high climbing out in where you went somewhere. Was it Vietnam that you went on one of your trips? Yeah, it's beautiful, like hanging off the side of a cliff with like the ocean underneath you. And I'm like, oh my gosh, so cool. I love it. I love that. So good. Yeah. Well, it's so fun getting to have this chat and getting to know you a little more, and then getting to introduce hopefully our audience to you. I have one more kind of fun question. If you could have coffee with any professional dancer, who would it be and why?
I would be Carlos Acosta for sure. I don't know if everyone who is listening know him, but he's pretty well known. And he's Cuban, very similar background, and he's gone so far, and he's promoting our ballet too as well, and he's promoting like our methodology. He opened his own company back in Cuba. And he's also the director of the Birmingham Ballet. That ballet, you all got it, it's in London. So he's the director of that ballet, and at the same time, he is directing a company back in Cuba, giving opportunity to more dancers in Cuba to not just know international dancers, but tour, to go out of the country, to see, to experience. And his background is so interesting, and he has a movie and a book. And I didn't read the book yet, but I watched the movie, and I just can't wait to one day to meet him and be like, hi, I'm a Cuban fella, I also do ballet, and I can't wait to hear all your stories from you and from yourself. That would be like a dream come true.
Yeah, I hope you get to meet him someday. That would be so cool. Hopefully that, we're going to put that out there. Love it. Well, thank you so much for chatting, and I'm excited for this launch of this new adventure that we've been talking about doing for a while now. So hopefully everyone who's listening enjoys it and tunes in, because we are going to have another episode in about a week, I think, right? We're going to try to do this weekly. Yeah. So fun.
It's going to be exciting. And if anyone has any question or have any idea or regarding the podcast or ballet technique, or if anyone wants to reach out to me or to Hannah for any question, please let us know. Hannah has been doing ballet with me for quite long now, like over a year and a half. She's doing point classes as well. She's doing so well on points that she will have so many advices or her experience, like she can share with you how did she go through the process of or how she feels. It's not just with my classes, but with everything she's doing, because you are doing in-person classes. You just done Catherine Morgan. What is it? The
intensives, yeah.
The intensives, exactly. So next episode, we're going to be talking about Hannah, because this is not just about the ballet teacher. We're going to be talking about the ballet student as well. She's almost a professional dancer now. She has 2 group classes a week. Well, 2 group online classes with me, 2 private point classes with me. She has 2 in-person classes. So she is rocking. She's rocking the world of ballet. So everyone knows, like, we need to get to know you then next episode. I think that's what we're going to do. That would be awesome to introduce you.
Good. Yeah. And if anyone has other requests for future topics, we would love to hear them. So, yeah. All right. So until next time, we will see you soon. Bye.
Thank you for listening to After Class with Ballet for All.
Join the community on YouTube and Instagram, or come dance with us, our weekly Zoom classes for adult ballerinas like you.
Links included in the episode description. Special thank you to our sponsors.
See you next time after class. Podcast produced by Mission Bridge Media.